Alrighty. I think I've beaten it. Trails in the Sky, the third. It is beaten. Although, I wanted a ending scene there to confirm that they retain the memories of this place and that it wasn't all for nothing. I needed that. Maybe I'll get it after, like an after credit scene or something like that. No second phase on the final boss. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. They gave me a 150,000 HP. What was it, like 8 or 9 statues with 16,000 HP? So let's just round that up to another 100,000, even though I'm being very conservative there. And then it was summoning 7,000 HP ads. It was just ridiculous. So I'm very glad there wasn't a second phase. Okay. I have thoughts for this game written down, but honestly, if I were to be just 100%, well, if I were just to keep it 100, basically, I gotta say that I like the game. I don't like. I struggle with how to word this properly. Like, I like the game, it as a game, but I don't like it as a Trails in the Sky, if that makes any sense to you. This game does some cool stuff, like you're going through, it reminds me of Ys Origin in many ways, where you're kind of going through a dungeon and you're trying to get to the end, and you have your little story segments here and there, and life is good. But my issue with it is I personally don't think it's a Trails in the Sky game in basically every conceivable way. All it does is use the characters, and then in some extents, I guess, like we're using some Trails in the Sky environments kind of sometimes, but overall it's just kind of like a dungeon crawler game. I don't think it really has anything to do with Trails in the Sky. Not a single thing that happened in this game, to my recollection, I could turn around and be like, oh my goodness, so that's why that happened, and this is why that happened, and this is why that character did that, and this is why they made that decision. Like, there's not, I didn't go through all the doors or anything like that, but the doors are optional, you shouldn't have to go through the doors to understand or to get an understanding of the story and everything like that. In ways that Trails in the Sky SC really did do a good job of kind of capping off the story, this just kind of stayed stagnant. It was. If I were to just use the words off the top of my head, it felt like a really poor way to have us get to know Kevin. And me personally, if this game was called Trails of the Gralsritter or something like that, I would have no problems with this game, and I'll be like, this game was awesome, this game was amazing, and it did some really cool stuff, and it brought back characters that I really like, and they did something new with the franchise or the system and the storytelling aspects. Every issue that I have with this game is because it's called Trails in the Sky, the third. It doesn't feel like the third game in the series. It doesn't act like it. It doesn't do anything really, in my opinion, to deserve that title. So that's basically my thoughts on this game. I like the game, you know, as a whole. Or I like what the game does. The title just kind of just ruins that for me, unfortunately. What if it was called Trails in the Sky Side Story? I'd be fine with that. It's advertising itself as, or at least to me, by being called Trails in the Sky the Third, I want to believe that it is advertising itself as we are continuing from Trails in the Sky second chapter. But it's not doing that. It's splintering off, and I don't like that. I don't like that. Give it a new title. Trails of the Gauntlet, Trails of the Sky side story, Kevin's side story, something. Just don't call it Trails in the Sky 3 or whatever. That was the mistake. And it commits some cardinal sins. Like basically every character cardinal sin that there could possibly be. Your complaint is one that many people have. Good game though. Yeah, I don't want to understate that fact. Like, I had fun with the game. I like the game. It's all of my issues. Well, my biggest and most egregious issues that I have with the game are the title and how it led me down a certain belief, and the game never lived up to that belief. And that could be on me, but at the same time, when you name the game Trails in the Sky the Third, are you expecting this? I wasn't expecting this. I mean, I think I mentioned before, if this game was Estelle and Joshua going around the world trying to find Ren, that would be the game I would be expecting. That would be a perfect game to build a story around. But, you know, we get transported to an alternate dimension where arguably nothing really matters. But I guess we'll get to find out here. Those are basically my thoughts in a nutshell anyways. I think I have a rough idea of the situation now. We've been able to confirm the safety of the 6 you mentioned. Prince Olivert, Raisay Arnor, Mueller Vander, Zin Vathek, Josette Capua, Estelle and Joshua Bright. All of them have safely returned to our world. Really, that's a relief. I was able to confirm the safety of the ones who ended up in Liberl myself. It was just those 6 I was concerned about. Well, and the 2 from Ouroboros, but I'm not sure either of us have any chance of checking up on those 2. Unfortunately not. Still, this certainly wasn't what I was expecting to happen when I gave you that mission. The Ariel left us a nasty little present, didn't it? That's one way of putting it. Either way, I'll give you my full report as soon as I'm back. Wrapping things up on my end seems like it'll take a little longer, but hopefully not too long. I'm looking forward to it. You know, you've changed since I last spoke to you. I'm quite surprised. Huh? Kevin I know wouldn't care to know whether those he'd been involved with were safe or not. Or rather, he'd try to suppress those concerns. Could only imagine a lot must have happened in this phantasma. That's putting it lightly. I'll fill you in on all of it once I get back, like I said. I've got something I want to tell you on a personal level, too. Oh, color me curious. Regardless, I'm glad you 2 returned safely. Perhaps we should all go and get some drinks together after you return. I'd be happy to. Oh yeah, I've actually got something I want to ask. Well, is it possible for a Dominion to change their title after choosing one? What's this now? I found something other than hunting heretics I want to do, you see. I intend to fulfill my duties as a Dominion to the fullest, don't worry about that. Just... Alright, laughter. Commander? So that's a no, probably. A Dominion wanting to change their title, eh? In the 1,000 years the Gralsritter has existed, that's not something that has happened often. But it's not entirely unprecedented either. Then, go ahead and think up something fitting for yourself before we next meet. If you fail to, I'll give you a new one myself as punishment. And trust me, you won't like it. Is it going to be squiggly, Bob? If I'd known you were going to say that, I would have thought of something before asking. Well, I guess I better get to work on thinking up something cool. What do you think of Blue Shooting Star, or maybe Black Arrow? What's with the awkward silence? Father Kevin, as your former instructor, allow me to give you one piece of heartfelt advice. Sure? Unless you want to live the rest of your life in abject shame, then for the love of Eidos, get Reese to help you choose. Don't even think of picking alone. Alright, so it wasn't a dream. Thank goodness. We can all be happy about that. Thank you for staying with Trails in the Sky until the very end. While the story has told all it has to tell, there are still plenty more adventures to be discovered across the Zemurian continent. Hooray! Thank you for the game. Ooh, I got Straight and Narrow, Easy Peasy, and The Future We Dream of achievements. Alright, final playtime, 36 hours. Not bad, not bad. Alrighty, that is it. I have finally finished the Trails in the Sky trilogy. Would you believe that not too long ago, I didn't really have too many plans to play the Trails in the Sky games. And then they just had to go and announce Trails of Cold Steel 4 coming out this autumn. And it was just like, well, I guess I gotta get through it now. But I'm glad I did. If I had to throw in a little bit more, like tidbits in there, for someone playing the Cold Steel games first and then playing these, I don't think there's any issue at all not playing the Trails in the Sky games first. I don't think that's necessary. All you get is, at least off the top of my head, all you get is just like little things that are kind of nice. I haven't seen anything big. Well, yeah, I haven't really seen anything big. I think the Trails of Cold Steel game does a pretty good job of staying standalone. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up for me. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific. I have no idea what I'm going to play. It's probably going to be something random, maybe like Smash Brothers or something like that. And then I'll probably take the weekend off like I used to do. And maybe Monday we'll come back and we'll start a new game, maybe on the new PC, So thanks for watching. Thanks for everybody for showing up. See you tomorrow or the next time I see you. Peace.